What's up, peeps? Carpo here, and I've been meaning to make this video for a while now, but it had to come to mind, and it just popped into my head at the moment, and then I forgot it again. No, I'm just kidding. Why do we do things? I mean, how do we know when we're doing things for the right reasons, with no intention of receiving karma or monetary gain? And also, when is it okay to accept money for something? Like an example I had was when I was coming home from work, I was thinking of the place where I'm working has a raspberry bush and some mint, plants that are growing all overgrown, and nobody lives there. It's up for sale. And so I started thinking about all the houses in the area that have various spices. Some people grow lemon balm, some people grow mint, some people grow sage, and some parsley. And I thought, how cool would it be to start a service where you, just to help people out, you start like a map or like a website where there's a map and you can show, like, have people join in and say, oh, look, I have this and that, and I haven't figured out the details. It was just a brain, just thinking. So I thought, well, what if you charged for that? Like, how can you charge for that? Can you charge money for a service? And what? Not that you're doing it to make money, but that if you do make money off of it, it's not such a big deal as long as you're not doing it to, if you're only doing it to cover the costs of doing the project. But there's certain things that you do for the love of it, and should you charge for those things? And I just don't know. It's like, I have mixed feelings about certain things, and it's one of the things that's always bugged me is, like, how do you know when it's okay to say, I need to start charging for this? And it was an issue. I made a video a while back about advertising on YouTube, is the title of it, and I kind of eat my words, and I go back and I'll retort. I was specific, though, I think, in the video, but I can't recall, to say that that people who monetize on YouTube, if they have a lot of viewers, they're required to produce a certain amount of news and information, or at least keep the people entertained in a way. Now, if it's a person's passion or love or art, let's say, that's cool, as long as it's, like, not just somebody bullshitting like I do, let's say, and I'm charging, like, putting ads on my shit just so you can watch me bullshit. I would never do that, but let's say I started doing something that was more involved in the society, and there are certain philosophies where they say, everything you do should be totally free of monetary involvement, monetary gain. And I'm like, well, shit, a person's got to live, but to what degree? And that's the big conundrum. Like, how do we live legitimately and fairly and still get by? Because there are people out there who will help people. Like, I just scraped together all my change to pay my mortgage, and if I was really desperate, I would have found somebody to borrow money from, but we managed to make it by. And I was thinking about the fact that, I don't know, I guess that people will help one another without expecting a return, but it's kind of like the video I made the other day about how it's hard to accept help. But a person feels like they're obligated often. That's why they won't take help. But I don't know. I think that well, let me try to word this right. If you monetize off of, let's say, a YouTube channel, and you're providing good, legitimate news where you're doing a lot of research, and everything you're putting out there is informative and reasonable, then that's okay. It's not like they're paying millions of dollars to YouTubers. That's just my example, though. And a person, it's up to them to decide whether a person's just providing BS to get views, or if they're actually, doing it for the right reasons. And in the business world, it's the same way. Like, I'm willing to give to certain businesses that I know are trying to make an impact. And there are a lot of businesses out there that are just like the same, just like a YouTube channel where they're just doing it for the love of it. You know, a company who started brewing beer because they liked it, or a company who bakes bread because it's in their family. You know, and it's those are the people that I give respect to, and because they put love into what they do, and I'm willing to pay extra for a person's service if they're willing to go out of their way. So I guess as far as that whole money thing, like monetizing off of stuff, I guess there's a certain degree of it that's okay and acceptable, as long as it's fulfilling the greater good. And I think most of the people who have a good heart and a good mind will utilize any finances that they incur for a good cause, and not for greed or just going out and getting drunk. You know, that kind of stuff. It's different. But I can't speak for everyone. Now, for the first part, how do you know when you're doing something for the right reason? That's the one that bugs me the most. How do you know when you're doing something for the good of mankind and not for an egotistical reason? And the more you think about it and the more you analyze it, the worse it gets. I mean, I think about it all the time. When I'm doing something good, I know I do it from the heart. If a person's hungry or they're not doing well, I give, but I do it out of an obligation to the world, not an obligation in a bad way, an obligation to the universe. Like, this is what I do. I'm a human. I share as best I can. And then I start wondering, how much should I share? You know, if I'm down to my last $5, should I give it to the bum on the side of the road? I mean, sometimes I feel like, the universe wants you to do that stuff, but then, then you're broke. But they say that's okay, it'll come back to you. And there's that whole middle ground you have to walk to really figure out what's the right way to act. And I don't know yet. I'm still figuring all that out, and I think we all are. To what degree we'll do something for the right reasons. And I think if a person isn't, they're just not thinking about it, Because, for example, a person who does something for just the love of it and does nothing but nice things for people, they say that if you do nice thing for a person, you get a rush of serotonin. And then they do too. And that's why they say that giving is so great, because both people prosper. And if you do something bad to someone, then both people suffer. So it's multiplied. Love multiplies. And I don't know. I don't know what else to say about that. I guess my point was that if you do something, you get a rush of serotonin or a rush of dopamine, and you get this great feeling for doing it, and they get a great feeling, and they say that that's the way it should be, that's great, that's all good and dandy, which is fine, but it is a drug rush. It's a natural high, but it's a high nonetheless. So if a person is giving merely because they say it makes me feel good to give, is that on par with selfish motives? And that's what I don't, you can see where I'm coming from there, because it's like, is feeling good because of being good a selfish motive in itself? And, you could sit and analyze this shit all day. Everybody knows, in the end, I know the real way to act. It's just follow your heart. But still, it makes me wonder if maybe the people who are ever giving really are the happiest. People who just give everything away, everything they do, everything they earn. I don't know. I'm not going to do it because I have to support a family and I like to live. But I guess there is a balance of how much I'll give back to society because I feel like I'm obligated to society. And I don't feel like society is obligated to me. And that's the big difference between me and a lot of people. I think a lot of people I've met seem to think that the world owes them something. And I just think I owe the world something. Because everyone needs to make their point. And then you're gone. Maybe to another place, maybe not. But the point being that you just do the best you can while you're here. Don't worry about it. Peace and love. I'm out.